Tiramisu? You think it's off limits on a vegan diet? Think again. Today on Bake Eat Review, I'm showing you how to make a delicious and creamy vegan tiramisu that's just as satisfying as the classic version. So first things first, let's begin with the Ladyfingers. Starting with the dry ingredients, I will add my flour, cornstarch, baking powder, and salt. I'm using cake flour because it has a lower protein content, which leads to a more crumbly texture, perfect for Ladyfingers. Next, I sift everything, making sure there are no lumps in our flour mix. And I'm going to stir it to make sure that everything is mixed in well. Traditionally, Ladyfingers are made with eggs, but today we're going to use aquafaba, which is the liquid from a chickpea can. When we blend aquafaba on high for about 5 minutes, it'll get nice and fluffy. If after 10 minutes your aquafaba is not fluffy, I would recommend trying a different brand of chickpeas because I found at least one brand that didn't whip up as well for me. We are adding the sugar very slowly to the aquafaba and it will start to turn into meringue. When I add the vanilla, you can see the meringue is already stiffening up, which is exactly what we need, but we will blend this a little bit longer to mix in the vanilla. Look at that stiff peak on the whisk. Perfect. Because I started with a small bowl, I don't have room to add my dry ingredients, so I will move my meringue to this bigger bowl and then add half the flour mix. I will then gently fold the two together. After a few stirs, I will add the rest of the flour mix and gently fold in again. You can see the batter is now mixed and looks airy. Here's a little trick for you. If you put your piping bag in a glass, it can hold it for you as you fill it up. Did you know the word tiramisu literally translates to pick me up or lift me up? Just thinking about tiramisu gives me a pick me up. For the piping bag, you want a 1-inch hole at the end of the bag, and then you can gently squeeze the batter out. You don't want them too fat or too long. I'm not very good at this part, but that's okay. Before they go in the oven, you want to dust them with some icing sugar. When it comes to baking, every oven is different, and even the tray can affect the cookie. I'm looking for a light caramel color when I pull them out. As soon as they come out of the oven, transfer them immediately to a cooling rack, and after 10 to 15 minutes, the cookies should be firm, and hopefully have a little snap like this one. For the mascarpone filling, we're starting with silken tofu. I want to put the tofu in the nut bag. Hopefully yours stays in the bag, unlike mine. From there, we will squeeze the tofu to drain it of the water. This will take several minutes. Try and squeeze it in a way so you are getting at all the tofu. Only use soft or silken tofu for this step. Other tofus will be too firm. You can see how much water comes out of one box of tofu. The next step is a bit messy. We'll turn the bag inside out and scrape all the tofu out and into the bowl. Next, I'm adding softened vegan butter, vegan sour cream, sugar, some vanilla, and a little oat milk. The sour cream is the critical ingredient in this mix. So you can see mine is very thick. So make sure you get a really good sour cream. I'm really proud of this tiramisu recipe. Even the mascarpone cream has taken months to get the flavor and texture just right. Now that everything is in the bowl, I will blend it until it's smooth and creamy. I stop it from time to time to scrape down the sides. Look at the consistency of the mascarpone filling. You simply can't have a good tiramisu without a strong dark coffee, and I'm using espresso. You will find a lot of classic tiramisu recipes add coffee liqueur. I won't be doing that today, but you could add it if you prefer. I will add some sugar in while the coffee is still hot and then let it cool to room temperature. Now let's put it all together. I'm using an 8x8 pan. We're starting with a single layer of Ladyfingers. I'm going to dip them quickly in the coffee. Don't leave them in too long, otherwise your cookies will disintegrate. Next, we will add a layer of our mascarpone cream by spreading the cream gently onto the cookies. Just be careful as the cookies are a bit delicate after we've soaked them. We will repeat this whole process with a second layer. I had a little gap in my layer, so I cheated and broke off a little cookie to fill it in. I'm adding our top layer of mascarpone. Again, being really gentle not to damage the cookie. For our final step, we will generously add our cocoa powder to the top. I will use my sieve to dust it on. Doesn't it look amazing? Unfortunately, we can't eat it right away. We have to wrap it up and let it sit overnight so the flavors have time to meld. It's the next day. I've been really patient. Let's take a look at it. It looks really good. Let's serve this up. This tiramisu tastes so delicious. It's the perfect blend of coffee, cream, and cocoa. The cookies are soaked, but not too mushy. The mascarpone cream in a good tiramisu is not too sweet, not too heavy, and this one has just the right amount of creaminess to melt in your mouth. For years now, I have been so envious of people eating their tiramisu. So now that I've created what I think is the best vegan tiramisu, I'm so excited to be sharing it with you. Let me know what you think in the comments below.